Fantasy Draft, the only rake-free daily fantasy site, brings the heat again with a $300,000 guaranteed rake-free contest. The Hooters main event. This is the largest and only rake-free contest of its kind you'll find for Week 9. And remember, only on Fantasy Draft are 100% of entry fees paid to contestant winners. Sign up at FantasyDraft.com with referral code WBLZ, and you'll get a free 7-day trial membership.
Ironic Radio proudly presents Daily Fantasy Sports Fantasy Foreplay, powered by DailyFantasyLines.com.
Third down and 15. As Stafford goes deep, looking for Hall. He's got it. Touchdown.
Here is Minshew escaping somehow the sack. Throws on the run wide open. Jacksonville, it's Chris Conley breaking free, and he is in for the touchdown.
Goff to throw it again.
And he's got his man for a touchdown. Josh Reynolds.
Out of the shotgun, empty backfield on first down. Jones throws. Darius Slayton, nice adjustment. Makes the catch. Touchdown. Third down and 7. As Jones fires, Slayton's got it. Touchdown. His second today. And a first down at the 35-yard line.
Double reverse or triple reverse. Garrett Goff throws this side, and it's Cooper Kupp down the sideline. Kupp to the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown.
From the 41. On the toss, it goes back from McKissick to Stafford, and now he goes deep for Galladay. Touchdown!
Kevin Coleman on the run. Kevin Coleman inside the 5. Touchdown 49ers. Looking one way, and they go to Kevin Coleman. He's going to score his second touchdown. First down and 5. 2 minutes to play. And here's Kevin Coleman by the burst. Coleman racing to the end zone. Kevin Coleman with his third touchdown of the game. Starr, good protection, and it completes it. And staying at his feet is Renfro. Hunter Renfro all the way. Starr just gets it off. Pressure coming from Mercer. Starr throws on the run. Wide open Williams. Williams at the 10. He'll lock it in. Touchdown Raiders.
I don't believe what I just saw.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to DFS Fantasy Foreplay for this Week 9. I got a bone to pick already.
Couldn't squeeze another one in there.
How could you not take the Aaron Rodgers pass under pressure, being sacked, catch of Williams in the end zone corner in that Packer Chief game? How did that not fit in there?
Couldn't squeeze it in there. Went with the Derek Coleman 3 touchdowns. 3. The week before that was what? 4 from one guy, right? Had to highlight that.
You could have
couldn't squeeze.
You could have left out like the Kenny Golladay.
Why? That was a great play.
Yeah, same division. Don't care.
I mean, it's great.
Don't care.
Yeah, for you. Don't care. It's for you.
Don't care.
Yeah. Some good plays this week. Or
My
last
Green
week.
Bay, Aaron Rodgers to Jamal Williams in the end zone.
You want it all.
Touchdown!
You had 4 touchdowns by a running back the week before that.
And the week before that. And the week before that.
I highlighted that. And now you want more. You just never satisfied.
No, I'm never satisfied. Hey, everyone. This is Wren. Welcome to DFS Fantasy Foreplay. Join me, as always. We have Webboy, who I'm just giving an extremely hard time to.
As usual.
The man you hear laughing in the background is senior staff writer, Ironic Media, DFS, Mr. Dan McClellan. Gentlemen, welcome to Week 9. How are we? Last week sucked for me. The only place I cashed was FanDuel. We had all the pieces, didn't put them together right.
We finished just out of the money in Fantasy Draft. It's still a good day there, but non-cashable. It happens.
It was just a very odd week of, like, if you had all those, like, 40-plus guys in your lineup, you won. If you didn't have, I mean, I had lineups that were great scores any other week would have cashed. Not this week.
Not just cashed, but probably would have been more than double up.
And it wasn't even remotely close to cashing this week.
No, it was an interesting week. your big play in the $1 million. Is it Kevin Coleman? You heard it right in the intro. 3 touchdowns, 40 points.
Oh, Gardner Minshew had a great game last week.
You know, if you put together a lineup that consisted of Matt Stafford, Kevin Coleman, Latavius Murray, Kenny Galladay, Mike Evans, Evan Ingram, Tyler Boyd, Saquon Barkley, and New England Patriots, you cashed out in every tournament, first place everywhere. We had 5 of those, 8, 9.
Hey, and I don't know why we didn't play Matt Schwab against the Seattle for his 400 yards passing.
I need to go listen to the tape, but didn't I bring up?
We brought up Matt Schwab.
Schwab?
We did.
Schwab and Company?
Some of us were unsure of how that was going to play out.
That was probably me. Yeah.
No, it was me too. It was me too. It was definitely me
All right,
too.
well, while we're speaking of all this,
Yes.
and the reasons why we didn't cash, why don't we just boogie on down, get on the hot mess, and it will lay out the reasons why we didn't cash last week. Because there are several players on our little old Hot Mess Express here that were big reasons why some of us didn't cash.
Hot
Thank
Mess
you,
Express.
sir. All right, here we go. Starting off at QBs.
Before you go, I think we're all in agreement, and I don't know if we even have anything to add to this list, so go for it.
Quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins at 11.6. You dumpster fire you after putting up great games.
It was a run-heavy game for them, though.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Phillip Rivers, you suck too at 11.04.
Whole team. Sorry. You put them all on there.
Hey, Kyler Murray, I don't care if you're a rookie. You barely got over 10 points as a quarterback. 10.10 points.
30 sacks so far this year, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it 26?
Is that his fault or the shitty offensive line?
Well, it's a combination of both.
That's the shitty offensive line.
He's holding on to the ball way too long.
And he's a rookie.
I said it 2 weeks ago. You got to get rid of the ball. You just got to get rid of the ball.
The next man on my list is someone that, if I remember correctly, in week 3 or 4, there were certain individuals in the industry comparing this man to one Mr. Pat Mahomes.
Ah.
His name is Jacoby Brissett at a whopping 9.48 points. Jacoby, welcome to the Express.
Very bad game.
Oh, right on his heels, Mr. Mitch Trubisky. You suck. You shouldn't have come back. You're still hurt. Your shoulder's still broken. Go back to the bench. Bring in Chase Daniels at 8.12 points. And the last but not least quarterback on our Hot Mess Express this week is one Mr. Kyle Allen. You couldn't even manage to scrap together 5 points.
Okay, so you missed one that I was...
3.32 points.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Do you want me to put the rest of the quarterbacks that lost on the list? I'll gladly do it.
No, I want to give you a winning quarterback for a team that scored 51 points.
Okay.
Okay. His price in fantasy draft was 11-2.
Okay.
Put up 14 points in a game where they scored 51. Mr. Jimmy G. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, I thought you were going to bring up
No.
Carlton.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. But no, I mean, Jimmy G. 14 points. 11, which is almost min salary.
Well, you can say the same thing about Wentz. They scored 31 and he only had 14.
Yeah, he only passed for...
But you also got to understand, you can't really take Jimmy G and put him in that category because the 49ers are ground and pound. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to run the ball some more. And when we're tired of running the ball, guess what? We got another guy sitting on the bench. He's going to run the ball.
The Panthers.
It doesn't matter. We're just going to run the ball.
Their defense is ranked what?
We're going to run left, and then we're going to run
fourth.
right. And we might run up the middle, but probably not. We're just going to fake we're going to run up the middle and then run around to the right.
51-13, and you only put up 14 points.
And who did you play?
Carolina defense.
Oh, here's where the truth comes out. And what did you play at our intro? Tevin Coleman, 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. Yep, all day long. All day long. No Matt Breida.
And Coleman's probably already on the Hot Mess Express for next week.
Well, most likely.
Yeah, he will be on Message because he burned me last night.
Yeah.
All right, moving on over to wide receivers because this week is very interesting and I want to get to it, so I'll burn through this. Oh, Geronimo Allison, you suck at 1.7 and you're on my team.
Yeah, it was.
And your buddy on the other side of the field, he sucks even more because he only got 1.4. Mr. Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Horrible.
Robert Woods, how could you only get 6.2 points when your quarterback put up insane numbers in London?
Yeah. I told you, those London games, man, you got to stay away from them.
Cooper Kupp put up what, bro? I mean, come on.
Stupid numbers, as
Stupid
usual.
numbers.
As
and then
usual.
there's the guy, hi, I got Wood.
Yeah.
No points.
No points.
Kenny Stills, the chalk of last week that everyone was saying, got to play Kenny Stills, got to play Kenny Stills, play Kenny Stills. Yeah, 5.2 points.
Cooper Kupp, 220 yards.
Isn't that crazy?
Do you get? I didn't actually look. Do you get 2 bonuses for that on Fantasy Draft? Do you get the 3-point bonus twice?
No, you get the over the 100 receiving. He only had 1 touchdown, right?
Yeah,
But they don't give it to you when he hits 200 yards. You don't get like another 3 points then.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Do they break that down?
No,
No,
they don't
they're not
break
gonna
that down. I'm looking. They don't break that down.
All right, and up next, the second chalky person on last week's slate, one Mr. A.J. Brown. Now, he's kind of borderline. He was cheap as hell. He got 9.1 points. I'll let you all determine whether or not he deserves to be on Hot Mess Express. He is a rookie, so maybe, maybe not. And the last one who got me a bagel and cost me all of my lineups, and it's no fault of his own, but we have a medical car, and you should come to the Hot Mess Express medical facilities.
Oh, we got a med car now, huh?
So I upgraded this year, bro.
Okay.
I needed to spend money. Or
I wish I would have known that. We could have had Drew Brees in there for a while.
I invited him. He's like, I want to go to NOLA.
Well, yeah,
French Quarter's calling.
And he just opened up some kids center or some shit like that. So yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
D.D. Westbrook. Why'd you even play, bro?
Oh yeah,
Why'd
you've
you
mentioned,
even play?
You've mentioned his name so
Go
many
look
times.
at the week before, dude. He lit the world on fire.
1 week. He's had 1 week.
No, he's had more than 1 week. Moving on to running backs, I only have 3 this week because just picking through the weeds of all the shitty quarterbacks last week we never get to building lineups this week. LaShawn McCoy, 8.3 points.
Yeah.
Go Pack defense, which I'm putting my own defense on it because it only got 3 points. Sony Michelle, how's it going, brother? Welcome back to Earth. You don't belong in the end zone. They don't want you in the end zone. You're just a 20-20 runner who plods along and gets 1 to 2 yards each carry.
Busted. So bad.
And then the rookie super chalk of the week, who was in all of our fantasy draft lines last week because he was going to do great and he was going to fill Kerryon Johnson's role. Yeah, the other Johnson, not so much. Mr. Ty Johnson got us a whopping 4.8 points.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
No.
Moving on to tight ends. Oh, where do we begin? Greg Olson, welcome again. You still have your seat. No worries. 3.3 points. TJ Hawkinson.
Bust.
3.1 points. Welcome back to the Hot Mess Express. Oh, hey, any tight end that plays against Arizona, we're just going to put him in our lineups because that's what we're going to do. Yeah, Josh Hill.
Bust.
6.9 points.
He was also only 6,900. So that didn't kill your lineup because you had money to spend elsewhere.
He got us
Yeah,
1x.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. He got his value at 1x, but yeah.
It's not what we were looking for.
I mean,
we needed a touchdown.
You could have went Tyler Croft at 5,000, who got you 1x. You know, it really depends on what you're looking for, and I've said it time and time again.
Go up to the top. What did
it's two-time
Fells
value.
get? Isn't he the top? Is Fells the top scoring?
No, Ryan Griffin is the top
Ryan
scorer.
Griffin.
Yeah,
how much was
yeah.
he? 5,300.
5,300 in the Jets-Jag game. 4 receptions, 66 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, and the safety.
The thing is whoever played him didn't play him because they saw the matchup and were like, this is a good play. It was because they had $5,300 left and went, well, pick him for tight end. That's how he got played. And then you walk into, winning $50,000.
Well,
it was just he was an afterthought.
Like Wren just said, I mean, the tight end play of the week
Was Fells.
was Darren Fells, which was 0% owned.
Well, neither was Ryan Griffin.
Okay. Yeah, they were both 0% owned. But your play of the week is Darren Fells. I don't care.
Well, Jono Smith, we talked about him last week.
Yeah.
But nobody had the cojones to say, hey, let's just put in Jono Smith because it's the Titans and no one... It's the Titans, and you just don't play Titans. And we're going to talk about a Titan in a little bit that we probably should play that...
We won't.
I just can't bring myself to do, but I think I need to just be a big boy and put my pants on and throw him in a lineup and see what happens.
Well, I got him this week. Kind of reluctantly, but it...
All right, here we go.
Sets the price.
Last person on the Hot Mess Express this week, and then we can all start breaking down this week. Dan, if you ever bring his name up again as someone we need to put in the tight end position, I'm just going to say no.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry with a whopping 8.7 points.
4 receptions.
To go along with his quarterback who had 11.04 points. Go along with, I can add Mike Williams to the wide receiver car of the Hot Mess Express because does this dude he needs stickum on his hands. He dropped another touchdown.
I think the problem with Hunter Hearst Helmsley there, Triple H, is everybody, Wren talks about it all the time. He yells at me all the time, amnesia. You need to forget. Sometimes you can't forget. And I think with Hunter, that's the problem. You're looking at that week 6 against Pittsburgh where he, had the 100 yards with 2 touchdowns for 33 points. Now, his performance week over week since that game is still phenomenal. 16.2 average touch, or 16.2 yards per touch for week 7, and then week 8, 11.8. With those kind of numbers, you expect the point production. You expect a touchdown. You expect to see at least one. But
the team as a whole has to be offensively doing better for him to get.
It's the Chargers.
If you're only scoring 2 touchdowns and they're going to your running backs, there just isn't the opportunity right now. And the Chargers did fire Ken Wesenhunt, and they're putting in an offensive coordinator. Honestly, I can't even remember his name, and he's never been an offensive coordinator before. Oh. And I think, the Ken Wesenhunt was a much better offensive coordinator when you could hear your own calls in your own stadium.
Oh no, I don't want that. I'm not opening that. I'm drinking this one. We're good. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Can you open it for me?
Oh, you're going to try it? You're going to be the guinea pig?
It's your day off, Steve, so go ahead.
Here.
You're the guinea pig, huh? Here you go. You have that. Yeah, it's a lot of floaties on the bottom. I don't know. Smell it. See if it's any good. I'm not sure. The Chargers, look, they have issues all over the place. And I don't want it.
Smell it.
Nope.
Do it.
Nope.
Smell it.
No. The Chargers have issues all over the place. Phillip Rivers, is it time for a new regime there? I mean... Do they look to move on?
Well, it's just you've had a couple bad games. You actually started the season pretty hot. I mean, Rivers is at the age that every time there's a couple bad games, they're going to start talking about, a switch. There's actually a rumor going out this week that it's Rivers is out, Tom Brady's in LA. And this is
right,
which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, like if you're gonna make a switch. Here's my attitude about making a switch at quarterback when you have somebody like a Rivers caliber. You keep going with him until you have your 2-14 season and you're forced to draft a quarterback. You get one of those top quarterbacks and you move on. You don't draft a quarterback that is a mid-round, middle of the first round, or you draft a quarterback when it's evident that you need to draft a quarterback. And I don't think the Chargers are quite there yet.
The season's in jeopardy.
Yeah. But it's been in jeopardy many, many, many times under Rivers, and somehow he pulls out these rabbits. So
look, it's a weak division. The AFC West is definitely a weak division. The Chargers sit at 3-5. Oakland is above them.
Yeah.
Oakland. I just bit my tongue. Oakland is above them. I'm going to say it again.
Do you want me to be surprised about this?
Oakland's just they're a dumpster fire.
No, they're not. They're actually a good football team. They bled out all the cancer
Well, they bled
out of
out
the
the cancer,
locker room.
but they can't score.
And everyone is getting behind their head coach in Gruden. He's no longer the talk of last year of coming out of retirement. That's what last year was. Gruden's coming out of retirement.
Well,
He's going to do amazing things.
We know it's a 10-year plan. We've talked about that many times. It's
so
a 10-year
let it
plan.
run its course. They've got a great young rookie running back who is, I don't want to say setting the world on fire, but go look at what he's done week over week, and those are not rookie numbers. Those are
he's putting up numbers that are very parallel to what LaDainian Tomlinson did in his rookie year.
Exactly. You got a quarterback that they finally stopped the talk of he's not the quarterback of the franchise.
Derek Carr had a great game last week.
And Derek Carr
in the highlights tonight in opening.
Derek Carr had a great game against the Packers outside of the trying to score the touchdown and fumbling into the end zone. Is that really his fault? No, he made the effort. He tried to make a play. Shit happens.
Yeah.
He's not playing bad ball. You've got another rookie in wide receiver Tyrell Williams.
Yes.
And you've got a tight end who is putting up numbers Gronk-esque.
Oh.
So how are you going to say this is not a good team? And you got a couple other ancillary players and Hunter Renfrow and a couple other guys that if they all start coming into their own in a year or two, this team's going to be mean. And they put those building block pieces into defense because you got your core of an offense now. I think you're going to be talking about it going back to the good old days of Raiders Chiefs duking it out.
That whole division, though, the Raiders.
That whole division, you can't say that because of the Chiefs.
I can say the Chiefs suck. And you want to know how I can say that?
What, because Mahomes is hurt?
Can't win at home.
Oh, that was the Packers last year. They couldn't
win at home. Oakland and Dan just said this, and every year the Chargers are an issue, and somehow they pull it out. They can do it again this year. You got the Chiefs who can't win at home. They're 4-0 on the road, and they've only won one game at home. Football has always been a home team game, except for 1 year where we saw one team lose every goddamn game at home, win them all on the road, and went to the Super Bowl and beat the Patriots. It's the only time it's ever happened. Once. Historically, you can't win at home, you don't win the Super Bowl. So that whole division could be up for grabs. Can the Chargers turn it around? Can Phillip Rivers become more poised in the pocket? Scramble a little more so he's not under so much pressure? Is their O-line strong enough to protect him? So far, no. But if they step up, the Raiders are second place in that division. The Raiders. Everybody made fun of Derek Carr all year long. Last week, you saw Derek Carr play a damn good game. Who knows with that division? Can the Chiefs wrap it up? I don't know. Right now, no. Especially without a quarterback. Although, is Mahomes playing this week? I don't even know.
No, he's doubtful, and I highly doubt he's going to play.
The only reports I've got so far coming out now, T.Y. Hilton is out. T.Y. Hilton could miss multiple weeks. That's definitely going to hurt that team. San
Francisco also lost one of their key linebackers.
Yes.
Not Bosa.
No, not Bosa.
Quan Alexander.
Right. Dwayne Haskins officially makes his first career start for the Redskins.
Fire up your Bills defense.
And James Conner, after today's practice, is officially listed as doubtful.
Oh, so that helps out so many things right now.
That's actually pretty big, yeah.
That puts Jalen Samuels as your value chalky. Create some. That's where you get your Dalvin Cook and your Christian McCaffrey, Dan. You fire in Jalen Samuels at
flex,
stupid cheap. It don't matter where.
Well, yeah, true, but
so okay. Who would you, if you're going to do that? Who would you pull out? Josh Jacobs or Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry.
Oh, Derrick Henry's a great play, though.
So is Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. What's Josh Jacobs' price?
11.9.
And Derrick Henry's 10.6. And what's his projected? Well, you can't go by the projected because Connor's out now. So you can't even look at a projected. Well, I mean, what do you expect from him? 20 touches in that game?
Derrick Henry?
No. Jalen.
Oh.
I mean, what's the game script now without Connor? Do they go to a more pass offense and give him the ball 12 times? Or do they stay with their run game and give him the ball 20 times? Because Connor's been touching the ball, 18 to 20 times a game? So now it's rolling the dice on what you really think the game script's going to be. And who are they playing? Who's Pittsburgh playing? I don't have that.
Indy.
Are they playing? Oh, see? Okay, Indy.
The matchup isn't great, but it's the workload for the price.
Well, that's why I'm thinking Derrick Henry at 10.6 is better because I think you're going to get the guaranteed workload out of him. Whereas with Pittsburgh now, you just don't know. I mean, Derrick Henry is going to give you somewhere between, let's say, 16 to 22 touches. You know,
Okay.
He's had some bad weeks, but he's given you 80-plus yards every week.
Right. And he's going up against a defense that gives up a touchdown every 15 and a half carries. And he's had at least 15 carries every single week.
Yeah, every game. And
so would you like, though, but here's the question. Would you like Jalen Samuels and the Buffalo Bills defense or Derrick Henry and the Washington Redskins defense?
Henry and the Redskins defense. No. Redskins defense is horrid.
Well, they're actually not that horrid. I mean, they have a good matchup and they score about 6 points a week. So they're just about as bad as everybody else.
That's true. I have Derrick Henry in my lineup and I'm keeping it there. I'm definitely keeping him in there. I have a lineup this week. I think Cash is, and I'm running it, and no one's talking me out of any position this week.
Oh, we'll get there.
Maybe except Danny Amendola, but I'm not sure yet.
Oh, you found the lineup?
But no, I created another one. Yeah, I'm staying with Derek. All right, so let's start. Where do you want to start? Quarterbacks? Is that where we want to start?
All right, so I want to throw something out there, and I mentioned this pre-show off air. So it's a very interesting week.
Yes.
In that the 49ers already played.
That's right.
Arizona already played.
Yep, 49ers won.
Sunday morning, outside of the main slate,
can't play.
You've got Houston and Jacksonville.
Yep, in London.
That takes out Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
That takes out Gardner Minshew and all of those cast of characters. Luckily for us in fantasy draft, you get the New England game Sunday night. So you get New England and Baltimore. FanDuel, DraftKings, you don't get those games.
Right.
Then Monday night,
Cowboys, Giants.
You don't get Cowboys and Giants.
No, it means no Dak, no Daniel Jones.
Which means you've got 4 games that are going to be the chalky plays of the week.
Bears, Eagles.
You got Bears, Eagles. You got Tampa Bay, Seattle. You've got
Vikings, Chiefs.
Vikings and Chiefs, and Green Bay,
and
Chargers.
Yeah.
So if you can reasonably build a lineup,
yes,
out of those 4 games,
yes,
but I don't think you're going to take down a tournament. $1 million maker, the $300,000 fantasy draft tournament. I don't think you're taking it down unless you go and find those ancillary, low-owned,
deep value,
tertiary. I'm talking like the Jet Miami game. I'm talking like bringing in the Pittsburgh game. And all of a sudden that brings in another game, but he's going to be chalky because he's cheap. You bring in Jalen Samuels. He's a backup running back. He's cheap.
See, I think you pivot off of that, and this is where Juju Smith-Schuster shines again.
I'm
actually playing Deontay Johnson, who's had more snaps than Schuster.
Yeah.
And he's cheap. He's at 8,800, and he has a great cornerback matchup.
It is a good matchup this week for him. The question is, do they exploit it?
It's really something to think about. And where I'm at this week, I don't really see the point in paying up for a quarterback. And that goes across sites. My biggest consternation with fantasy draft is they don't use the same sliding scale.
It's different metrics, yes.
That everybody else uses to value a quarterback. Like your floor is 10 grand.
Right.
But if you look at the ceiling on these quarterbacks, most expensive quarterback is Russell Wilson at what, 14.3? Like
13.9.
13. So you're talking $3,900, and you've compressed all your pricing into $4,000.
Yeah.
So on the low end, as I address, I think that Jameis Winston is a great value at 10.9 against Seattle. But that's not in one of those games you just talked about, or I think is also a great value and kind of in between price is Matthew Stafford at 12.7.
I love Stafford this week. He is probably he's in my line. He's in my personal lineup right now. I haven't really looked elsewhere. Webby and I went and had lunch before coming here, and we kind of went through some different concepts of picking, like trying to go and pay down, and like where does it make sense to pay down, and where is the good. Well, again, it's like throwing a dart. Who is the best play to pay down at? Like Derek Carr. Derek Carr could be a great play at 10.9. He's got a great matchup.
Well, yeah, both sides of that. But the Raiders have allowed the fifth most, 25.1 points a game to quarterbacks, and Stafford is throwing touchdowns at the rate that Mahomes was throwing before he got injured.
Yeah, but I mean, hold on, let's keep it going here. Mason Rudolph against Indy, 10 grand, base price. Make it even further. Mitch Trubisky, yes, I just shit all over him before, but he's playing the Eagles, who, yes, they are getting some pieces of their secondary back, but are still flat out terrible.
That is a very interesting play because we've talked about before how pick on the Eagles. And if you can pick on the Eagles with men's salary.
Let's make it even worse. Ryan Fitzpatrick against the Jets, who are a dumpster fire themselves. 10 grand. Matt Moore against Minnesota. Might not be the greatest matchup in the world, but he's 10 grand. And we saw what he did against Green Bay. He put up points, put up 24 points last week. I mean, and you can go down to these other cast of characters that are backup quarterbacks that are getting starts right now. Brandon Allen, 10 grand. So where do you go?
Yeah, I wouldn't go down. I mean, like,
where do you want to punt? Do you want to take your contrarian play with the quarterback like everyone did last week with Schaub? Anybody who had Schaub cashed. Guaranteed you cashed.
Yeah, pretty much.
400 passing yards, multiple touchdowns.
Yep. 3+.
So, I mean, personally, I like Stafford at 12.7. I like Carr at 10.9. I like Rudolph at 10K.
What about Winston at 10.9 again? I mean, it's the same defense that Schaub went off against last week. And look at how consistent Winston has been since the start of the season.
But which tells me right now he's been so consistent since the start of the season.
He's due. I know. That's every time you jump on the Winston train is when you get burned. I feel like I'm going to get burned again this week. But I'm just saying the numbers line up that Winston is a great play.
I'm going to say this, and it's based off of other pricing for other positions. With Christian McCaffrey priced out of the box this week.
I don't think there's value in his pricing.
Right, there's no value. He's priced out of the box. You really have to take a hard look at Dalvin Cook and work him in. And the guy is giving you the 20 to 30 points, actually almost 30 points every week. The matchup for him is...
What's his price?
He's 17.3.
I'd rather spend the 1,400
the
and go get
matchup is tremendous. The matchup for McCaffrey is not there. The matchup for Dalvin Cook is
against Kansas City, who gives up like 1,000 fantasy points.
That's right, exactly. Let me cut me off, Ryan. Okay, his matchup is tremendous. He's going to give you the 25+ points guaranteed, and that is why I am staying. That's me. That was Slack. I am staying on top of the guy we have shit on as the guaranteed money fucking blowout piece of shit quarterback who has been Mr. Consistent almost all season. And I am stacking that game with Kirk Cousins.
All right. Here's my one reason why I would rather spend the $1,400 and pay down elsewhere.
Kirk Cousins 11-9, by the way. So as you're looking at your 10s and 11s,
Right.
900 more.
I don't
It's
disagree.
Cousins.
I'm not disagreeing, and this is the beauty of playing fantasy sports is everybody has their own angle they want to play, and that's what makes it so amazing. My only concern, and it's something that has been creeping up week over week, and if you go back and you look through the numbers, you have Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Who's he sharing time with?
Nobody.
You have your boy Dalvin Cook. Who's he sharing time with?
3 snaps a game with some backup.
Alexander Madison.
Yeah.
And it's not 3 snaps a game.
Okay.
It's more than that.
Okay.
He has another person that is eating into his time,
Right.
who is proving to be just as effective as him.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey only gets 20 snaps a game.
Now, you got to remember,
20.
you got Dalvin Cook coming off ACL 2 years ago. And this is a team that is looking like it's going to make a deep run and potentially make the playoffs. In these cream puff little matchups that they have, who's to say that they're not going to start taking his time and cutting it down to make sure he stays healthy through the year? And you've got a kid who's proving himself week over week. It started out with a few touches, then it became a few more touches, then a few more touches. Now you have Alexander Madison that could potentially eat into his carries, vulture a touchdown or two. Now you've got spending 17-4 on a guy who's not making value.
Okay, I'm just going to add to this argument a little bit, but I'm actually playing both this week. But here's something that's interesting. The McCaffrey, the best week that he had this year was against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where he scored 50.70 fantasy points. And this week, I mean, the hesitant in playing him is that he's playing the Titans.
Yep.
Well, even with that 50-point score that he recorded against the Jaguars have allowed less fantasy points a game than the Titans.
I mean, the only real bad week he had was against Tampa Bay, believe it or not.
And that's why I don't like Carson this week.
They lost. Carson's another good play, though.
I don't like Carson against Tampa Bay. Has allowed 2 rushing touchdowns on the season.
Yeah.
2.
I know.
They are the top DVOA run defense in the league. I'm not saying Carson's not a good play. He's going to have the volume. He's going to have what he needs to do. Maybe a couple receptions out of the backfield. He's going to touch the ball 20 to 25 times in some kind of conglomeration of receiving and rushing.
Tampa's only given up.
But what's 25 attempts at 2 yards a rush?
The most yards Tampa's given up was against New Orleans Saints week 5 at 112 yards. Aside from that, you got to go back to week 1 where they gave up 98. Everything after that, 72 or less rushing yards. I mean, they got to run stop defense. There's no doubt. That's all they can do.
So that's why I'm shading or fading Carson this week.
You know, I mean,
that makes Russell Wilson more intrigued. That's how you're going to move the ball against Tampa Bay is by throwing it.
It makes DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett really good plays. I'm not saying I have Russell Wilson on my board, but at 13-9, I think I'd rather save $1,200 and run Matt Stafford.
13-9, you can save $2,000 and run Kirk Cousins, who's going to give you 30 points.
What? Wait, but
if
I get it, but then if you have, I don't understand completely the stack of Cousins and Cook, because I think if you've got Cook, you're hoping that he's going to get those goal line touches. And if he's getting those goal line touches, then Cousins isn't throwing those touchdowns unless he's throwing them to Cook.
You got Stephon Diggs in there too. Stack the game. You throw Stephon Diggs in there. And there's your...
See, my only concern about that is what is the situation with Thielen?
Thielen's out. Thielen's not playing. I don't care what anybody says. Don't even look at...
He has practiced limitedly. I mean, you have injury news coming out.
Practiced limitedly with a goddamn sleeve on his leg.
That doesn't mean anything.
He's playing in a plastic sleeve on his leg. Limited practice. What is limited practice? No touch contact. The chances of Thielen playing, in my opinion, and I will know more as more and more injury reports come out, is slim to none.
Who is his DB matchup?
I mean, the injury reports I have is today, as of Friday, he's playing.
He doesn't have
sleeve.
He doesn't have a positive or negative. Stephon Diggs doesn't have a positive or negative matchup. He has a neutral matchup against
and he's going to give you
Javarius Ward.
He's going to give you 20 points.
I say he gives you 15, 16 points.
That's below his average. He's going to give you more than his average in this game.
I'm saying that's a median. I'm saying his floor is probably about 5 and the ceiling is about 28.
I mean, you do realize the guy is averaging 20 yards a touch. 20 yards a touch. You show me another wide receiver in the league doing that right now. Show me another one.
I'm gonna reference what Kansas City has done historically over the past few weeks. They've taken out the wide receivers out of the game. Look at what Green Bay did last week. Outside of the Jake Kumaro fantastic catch to save a third down and move the chains down and put him in scoring position, every single touchdown pretty much was scored by a running back on a pass play.
Oh, here he is. Okay.
You had Aaron Jones for 2 touchdowns. You had Jamal Williams for a touchdown. They're taking out the wide receivers. I'm not saying Diggs is a bad play. I have him on my board, but I don't know how high I have him on my board. I'd rather play a Kenny Golladay against Oakland for $200 more.
All right.
Or save money, save $500 and go down $600 and go play Chris Godwin against Seattle.
I'll give you some numbers.
Or even Tyler Lockett at 13-5 against Tampa.
I'll give you some numbers.
Or how about Marvin Jones against a rookie cornerback against Oakland at 11-3?
I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you some Kansas City numbers to help you put it into some perspective. Kansas City has given up 191 first downs. 191. Ask me how many they scored. 177. They're giving up more first downs than they actually make. They cannot stop fourth down conversions. 9 for 13. I believe that's second worst in the league. 9 for 13. Can't stop it. They have given up 3,000 passing yards. 3K. Which means what? They can't stop the pass.
Where are those balls going to, though?
3,000.
A pass could be a screen pass to a running back who runs 100 yards.
They have passed for 3,100 and they've given up 3,000. It's almost the same. Their defense is not good. Granted, they're 5-3. They're not good.
Okay, we're getting off track.
They've given up over 1,000 rushing yards already.
All
Okay,
right.
well maybe we should start like who do we really, like at running back? And there's two that I don't have that I'm concerned that I don't have. So I have McCaffrey, Cook, Josh Jacobs, and Derrick Henry. The other two that I think, and maybe even 3, would be Aaron Jones against the Chargers. The Chargers has been atrocious against the run lately.
Great matchup for him.
Le'Veon Bell against Miami is like a no-brainer too. And Nick Chubb, it's not a great matchup, but he's getting the volume there. And I don't know, he's certainly somebody that if the pieces fell and you needed somebody in his price range, you wouldn't be hesitant to play at all.
13-1, we actually talked about this last night on a different show. Nick Chubb is the one, depending on how you slice the numbers and how you sort the numbers and how you dice the numbers, Nick Chubb's the number 1 running back in the league. To not play him this week, it's kind of crazy. It's definitely kind of crazy.
But if you end up playing, let's say you played those 3. If you played Jones and Bell and Chubb, and then you could either choose to play, Cook or McCaffrey. And I would say Cook, actually, based on the matchup against KC, that's so tough, though. Like you said, because McCaffrey gets everything. I think you have enough to do what you want elsewhere.
I think you're definitely punting a position for a $6,000 value play somewhere to try and make up for it. The Le'Veon Bell matchup, I like it. The problem I have with it, it's 14-3 for Le'Veon Bell. And when you look at his stats week over week,
not going over 20 points.
He hasn't done anything since week 2. And it's the Jets. They're just, I mean, I know it's Miami. I personally feel, and you'll hear it later on when it comes time for my play.
Miami might win.
Miami's winning this game. Miami is home. Fitzmagic seems to have gotten in stride with Miami. It was much like Tampa last year or the year before it was, where he was the starting quarterback, and it was okay for the first 2 weeks that he played. And then after that, didn't he go on a 5-0 tear? And everybody was talking about Fitzmagic. It's the same situation again, in my opinion. I think Miami wins that game, probably by like 4, but it's Le'Veon hasn't. What has he done? 23 yards last week, 70 the week before that, 50 the week before that, against the Dallas team that they beat. Played Philly the week before that, 43 yards. Yeah.
Okay, well, there was some talk this week about him being traded right at the deadline that didn't happen.
Of course.
But I wonder what, like, I think that was being floated out there by the Jets that they were willing to. Is he not a good fit there? Is there something else going on? When you look at those numbers, is he not giving it 100%?
Adam Gase didn't want him. Adam Gase is one of those coaches that does not want to invest $14 to $16 million year over year into a running back.
Yeah, that's true.
He did not want him. He wanted no part of it. He was part of the reason why the GM got fired for making that deal for Bell. It's a bad situation. Is Bell giving it his all? Yeah, I just don't think the Jets are that good. I don't think the O-line is good enough to create the holes that he needs. And you're also talking about a guy who has nothing for nothing. He spent an entire year out of the league. So what kind of shape is he actually in mentally, game speed-wise, and everything like that, vision-wise?
I think the time definitely hurt. I thought it was a smart play then. And now I think...
I remember what I said.
Yeah.
I did not think it was a smart play. I think taking himself out of the league for a year was not going to benefit him.
Yep. I kind of agree with that now. And the funny part is Le'Veon Bell against Miami is like the number 1 ranked matchup next to Ty Montgomery's.
Not Ty Montgomery.
Yeah. Well,
Ty Montgomery's part of the Jets.
Sorry, same game. Yeah, it's the number 1 matchup. After that, you got to go to Josh Jacobs for consistent matchup.
And I don't think Jacobs is a bad play.
The question is how healthy is he? That's the biggest problem. And if that's the case, then you got to take Josh over Le'Veon because the numbers are there, and Le'Veon's numbers aren't. Now, I'm not trying to talk anybody out of Le'Veon Bell, but you really need to take a hard look at it. The guy's not producing, and the feel around the league, even with Vegas, is Miami wins that game. So what does Le'Veon do? Does he give you another 60 points and maybe 4 catches? Because what is he averaging? 4 out of the backfield? Game logs. About 4, maybe 5 receiving for 22 yards. Maybe 25. I'm trying to do the quick math in my head here. Maybe 25. So he's averaging 4.1 yards per catch, and he's rushing for just about the same. Actually, worse. I don't like the Le'Veon Bell play. I mean, at 14-3, Derrick Henry's better play. Me, personally, I'm spending $41,000 on running backs this week, and I'm going Dalvin Cook, I'm going Nick Chubb, and I'm taking Derrick Henry. I think those are 3 value plays for $41,000. That gives me room elsewhere to do pretty much anything without looking at a bottom barrel guy and going, well, I need to throw someone in min salary who's going to get me 10. I think there's better value across the league in positions where you don't have to punt a position. I mean, even on defense, the Pittsburgh Steelers game, it looks like it'd be a great matchup for Pittsburgh on defense. So I think there's value across the board, and it's tough because, like you said, the Christian McCaffrey thing, how do you not play him? But at $18,000, how do you play him? How do you fit him into a lineup? Where are you punting?
Well, so where I punted, I guess you could say I punted at 3 places. I didn't say it's not. Jameis Winston isn't a punt. I think he could get 30 fantasy points this week.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and where I was really concerned about it at first, but I'm becoming less and less concerned about it, is I stacked Winston with Cameron Brate. The concern there is Brate's had a catch every game, but he's only had the most he's ever had 3. But it looks like OJ Howard isn't going to play. So Brate's going to get all of this week against Seattle, who is atrocious against tight ends. So I think Brate might be a great play at 6,000. But my real punt is I've got the Washington defense at 4,200 against Buffalo.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a punt. My issue with Winston, and I like him at 10-9. I like the fact that he's going to give you 300 yards pretty much every week. It's the interceptions. He's given up a ton of interceptions in the last couple of weeks. I mean, last 2 weeks ago he threw what? 5? Against
but you don't get docked that much for it. I'm looking at is that he's, I'm going back to week 3, 29 points, 33 points. He had a 17, but then 21 and 26. So,
yeah.
I mean, he is consistently over 20 points, and 3 times out of the last 6 weeks has been over 25 points.
That passer rating too, that just makes him a little much. I mean, the fumbles. I think the last 2 weeks for him have been atrocious.
He scored 21 and 26 points.
I know, Ed, but you lost. Last week you lost 6 points. He should have had over 30. You lost 6 points. 3 fumbles. Oh, you lost 5 points. Sorry, 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions. The week before that, you lost 7 points on him with 5 interceptions and 2 fumbles.
It's a fair argument. I'm just looking at what his price is versus what his production has been.
I get that. I'm thinking for another grand, I'm still taking Kirk Cousins.
All right, here you go.
Who, by the way, has only thrown 3 interceptions all year long with 19 touchdowns.
All right, so I'm going to throw something out there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going. I just built another lineup.
Yep.
All right.
While we were arguing,
while you two were
It's
arguing.
not an argue. It's not an argue.
Or debating.
Yeah, it's debating. Yeah, we're trying to talk each other out of picks, and that's fine. That's what we do here.
While I was doing this, I went back and I built a lineup.
Right.
And I looked at all the quarterbacks and conversations you and I have had, and conversations Dan and I have had, and collective the conversations that are going on here. And I went back to Matt Stafford.
Oh, you went back? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the reason: the Raiders have given up 8 receptions of 40+ yards.
Yeah.
In their 7 games.
Yeah.
And are tied
bonus points
for second.
Uh-huh.
With 35 of 20+ yards.
Yes, they've given up deep balls.
They're also third in QB rating, allowing a 115.5. Only third to the Cardinals at 116.6 and Falcons at 117.6.
And here is Stafford's production over the last 3 weeks. He has nearly averaged 30 fantasy points, last 2 games with a 32 and a 27. So, I mean, him for a 3X, I think, is a very likely scenario against Oakland.
All right, so here you go. So I went with him, and I'm going to ride the Webboy train here, and I'm going Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
All right, after that, based on conversations that we've had over the course of the past week, the next person in my lineup is Nick Chubb.
Has to be. I'm sorry. All right. 21+
After
points.
that, to create my little mini stack,
right,
Kenny Golladay at 14.5.
I like the Golladay play. I mean, he's had 3 tremendous
I'm gonna
weeks.
leave the next wide receiver position as a question mark. I will give you who is in there, but I'm not going to give it to you right now. At tight end, I'm going Zach Ertz at 8,700.
$8,700.
I think he's a great play. He's one of my core tight ends this week.
It's going to give you 1.2+.
I think he's in a really good spot, even though he's losing touchdowns to Dallas Goedert and everything else, or Goddard, however you pronounce his name.
You're going to get your 8 to 10 out of him, period.
Flex spot number 1, Jalen Samuels at 7,800. Now that Connor is officially ruled out, Samuels is being put in because he's healthy.
Yeah.
Then I have in my flex spot number 2, Josh Jacobs. I had Henry.
Okay.
I took Henry out and put in Josh Jacobs. He's going up against a 30th ranked run defense, bro. It's a green light.
I know he's still limited in practice, though.
He didn't even practice at all until Friday last week.
Yeah.
Right.
Limited participation
My
today.
defense is the Cleveland Browns because I think our nice little Brandon Allen experiment in Denver is not going to begin extremely well. And I think they might actually get some sacks, hurries, rushes, fumble recoveries, interceptions, things of that ilk that I'm just going for the points there, whether they win or lose the game. Meh, don't care. I want those extra points.
Well, the nice thing I like
Hold on.
about
Now-
Cleveland is the sacks. They're consistently getting 3+ sacks.
There we go.
And a lot of pressure on a quarterback, which has not a lot, but has forced fumbles all year long. Okay, last week, no. The week before
But at
that,
$5,200,
yeah,
it's a great play.
Yeah, 52, it's a good buy.
So everything that's in my lineup right now, I personally consider chalk.
Against Denver, they won't-
Okay. May I make?
Hey, let me
I like your lineup a lot. May I make one suggestion?
let me give you the one wide receiver that I have not given you yet, and this is where
Deshaun.
no, this is where I'm going. It's a value play. I'm going Devontae Parker.
Oh, I had that.
Miami.
But you talked me out of it.
Well,
Oh, now you're back. You talked me out of it, and now you put him in.
sometimes it takes little things to weed its way through my resonated brain.
So on that
you know?
long before you fucker.
So it's Matt Stafford, Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, Kenny Galladay, Devontae Parker, Zach Ertz, Jalen Samuels, Josh Jacobs, Cleveland Browns defense.
Okay. What if? I like your lineup. I'm just throwing this out there. If you switch out to Marvin Jones, who is going up against rookie cornerback Trayvon Mullen, who has allowed 15 yards per reception and 2-point fantasy points per target, could you then go off of the chalk play of Jalen Samuels and go up to Derrick Henry?
Marvin Jones.
11-3. Jalen Samuels gives me 11,100.
Marvin Jones had the matchup of matchups last week against the Giants and did nothing. He's one of the reasons why I busted out last week.
Yeah, and it leaves 500 on the table if I did that.
And then you can change out a defense.
I could, but I still like the Cleveland play.
Pittsburgh's better, but
I think I could afford Pittsburgh now.
sure, Pittsburgh is only 4,600. It's got to be cheaper than Cleveland. Cleveland's going to give you 5 points.
5,700 brings me up to the Bears against Philly.
That might be a better play.
Or
with
the I get
game.
the Panthers now. Yeah, I get the Panthers
Panthers
against
are going to give
Tennessee.
you. Panthers are going to give you 11.
But I don't like that play with Derrick Henry. It's kind of defeating the purpose there.
Henry's still going to give you the 15 points anyway. I mean, you hope for.
I don't
more
know.
at 10,
What's Galladay's
6, but
matchup? Does anybody have that?
I don't have that.
I have it here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We want Detroit.
I just.
Detroit, Kenny.
It's tough.
Galladay.
For me, it's tough to get on the Marvin Jones train. Last week was the matchup of matchups.
He's
and he
going
did
up against Darryl Worley, and he has the best matchup out of any of the wide receivers. Amendola has the toughest. Second is Marvin Jones, and none of these are tough matchups, by the way.
Okay.
And then Kenny Galladay has pretty much the plus matchup.
It's the Danny Amendola I have in my lineup. I'm unsure of.
So I think I want to stick with
Galladay.
Galladay.
Well, you're getting the volume there, and I think
my contrarian pick is really thrown in Parker, and it's really a matter of do you go Parker or do you go
how much is Parker?
8,700.
You could double stack it if you wanted to, and have no, you couldn't.
No, well, if I was gonna double stack it, you're all gonna hate me for this one. These are the things that go through Wren's brain. Mark Walton at 9,600. Now that there is no Kenyon Drake, he's going to get all the carries.
And Kenyon Drake don't even count for this week's fan.
In that same price range, do you have any interest in Deontay Johnson? I'm just throwing names out there just to, continue the conversation here.
I would have interest in Jordan Howard at 10.1 if all the news comes out that everyone else is not playing, because then he becomes a bell cow back who's not sharing much. And then you also have, if you buy into it, the revenge narrative, because they are playing the Bears.
Deontay Johnson. Why Deontay Johnson?
Very good CB matchup. Let me read. He's on Woolerit's list here. What does he have? Juju Smith-Schuster and Johnson have garnered the most targets from Mason Rudolph over the last few weeks. Johnson actually has a higher target snap rate than Schuster. The two rookies should be matched up for most of the day, Janssen being the other rookie. He's had his struggles allowing a 68% catch rate and 18.7 yards per catch. He's been responsible for 3 DDs and is yielding 2.4 fantasy points per target.
I mean, at 8,800, if he has the game that he should have, you got 2x value out of him. I can see that. The question is the game script there for him to get that, or is it going to be the Schuster's show against Indy? I could see. I don't know if he's going to give you the 2-time on it.
I mean, I personally don't have a lot of faith in Pittsburgh's offense, period.
Yeah.
Which is why
I'm just trying to justify the call on it. I like the call.
But the only way, personally, that I'm going to invest money in Pittsburgh right now is in the run game.
Yeah, and with Connor out.
I watched Mason Rudolph throw back-to-back interceptions against Miami. Yes, he settled down, ended up winning the game, but he did not look
They
good.
were losing that game till the third quarter. I watched the whole game.
I mean, he looked terrible. You saw it with your own eyeballs.
Yeah. I was actually taking bets on that game across the way.
If I want shares of that game, I'd rather take the chalky 7,800, where if he gets me 15 points, it's 2x value.
The Deontay Johnson move, I kind of like it. I'm afraid.
All right, so why don't we do this? Let's build.
All right, yeah, let's build. Let's do that.
Let's build ourselves.
I think you're off to a really good start here. That's
No. That was my own personal line while you guys were sitting here bickering.
Okay.
It's not a matter of bickering.
Well, my second personal line.
It was educating each one on each other's thoughts.
Yeah, you two were bickering like brothers.
We weren't bickering. Stop it. We were educating each other.
You were bickering. Shut up.
I mean, I like.
All
that.
right, give me a quarterback. I know, Kirk Cousins.
My lineup is going in. My only debate on my lineup is what to do with Danny Amendola, which I think I'm going to punt him and look elsewhere at 9,200. I like this lineup. The other question mark in my lineup is Deshaun Jackson.
I wouldn't pay 10-2 for him.
I think he's going, if he plays, is going to have a crushing day.
I would actually. You want to know what I think it is? If he plays, Alshon Jeffrey has an amazing day. I think Alshon Jeffrey has that little bit extra pressure taken off him because they got to put it on Deshaun, and it opens up more of the field for Alshon Jeffrey. If you really want my opinion about that,
I can feel that. I just think.
All right, so Dan and I are on Stafford. You're on.
I'm on Cousins because I want to stack that game. So if you want to go Stafford, I'm okay with that. It's my second quarterback of the week.
What about paying down at a 10,000 QB?
I'm looking at those right now.
I mean, the value could be there, but I mean, where are you going to go? Are we going to go inside of 10-5? So you got Phillip Rivers, Kyle Allen, Ryan Tannehill at 10-1? Or we're going down to the 10s completely where it's some shit quarterbacks in Marcus Mariota, Mason Rudolph, Baker's Mayfield. I mean, Chase Daniels?
Not playing.
I mean, all these guys could hit, but they're really averaging like 10 to 14 points. I mean, I want somebody who's going to give me 30. And I think that's from like Stafford. I think there's a.
I think for.
It's a high. If you get somebody who gets you 15 points and there's other quarterbacks out there scoring 30 or more, you're just in a huge hole.
Well, how about let me ask you this?
I give you 2 quarterbacks.
You
at
know,
10K.
you know your LA Chargers. What's the potentiality of Aaron Rodgers letting them up?
Oh, I would say it's good. Now, the Chargers have been very good at covering wide receivers. So the matchup isn't there, but what you have here is an environment that's essentially going to be a home game for Green Bay. Phillip Rivers is going to have a problem hearing a snap count, not Aaron Rodgers. There's going to be 80% green and yellow jerseys in that stadium.
Yeah.
So is it worth the extra $3,000 or $300, or do we just go Matt Stafford, who's playing at Oakland, and we know what we're getting there?
I think you know what you're getting with Stafford, and that's the matchups for stacking are much better with Stafford than it is with Green Bay. And I think with Green Bay, I think from week to week, you're still kind of guessing who's going to get the ball as a wide receiver. I mean, is it going to be some Lazard or is it going to be Jerome Allison? I feel like every time I guess with that, I guess wrong.
You said you had 2 10K quarterbacks.
Well, yes, I do have the Aaron Rodgers play. Look, it's not a bad play. You're going to get the last 3 weeks against Detroit, Oakland, and Kansas City. Average, he's thrown for 325 yards with 3 touchdowns.
He scored 70 points in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can say 90 in the last 3 weeks. With a passer rating, I mean, against Oakland, his passer rating was damn near perfect. I mean, you can't get higher than a 158.
But you've got
points there.
Stafford going up against Oakland.
Yes.
Who's playing out of his mind.
Yes. If you wanted to punt this position, and I don't see why you would want to punt a quarterback when you've only got, like a handful that are over $12,000. Actually, it's only 4 quarterbacks over 12 grand. But if you're going to look to do that and you want to go for a min salary at 10 grand, I think your choices are Ryan Tannehill at 10-1.
I don't like his matchup.
And I'm sorry, not Ryan Tannehill. I'm sorry, 10,000. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Matt Moore.
Yeah, either one of those. I mean, could have, yes. I think
if I'm going to do that,
I'm going to go with Fitzpatrick.
$1,000 more and go get Sam Darnold.
Like I said, if you were going to stay at the $10,000 and punt your quarterback, those are your 2 choices. It looks like Mahomes limited practice Thursday, limited practice Friday. Mahomes was second in line today taking snaps. The chances of him suiting up, he'll suit up. Chances of him getting on the field, he's not playing. That puts Matt Moore in a situation who did what last week? Had a pretty damn good game. Threw 2 touchdowns. Completed 24 out of, I think it was 30. The pass rating was 107. Only put up 18, 19 points. But it's first game. Now it's game 2. Tyreek Hill should have a great game. Not Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce should have a great game.
I think Tyreek Hill is the only viable option out of that receiving core.
I think the tight end is going to be more dink and dunk in that game.
What about Russell Wilson? You want to pay up all the way? Or you want to save that $1,200?
I want to save that $1,200.
25 points.
We'll go Stafford.
We'll
we
go
can
Lamar Jackson then and bet to gamble the house on the 11-9 for the 2 extra points and save money.
Yeah. In the last 2 weeks, Wilson's only gotten 15 fantasy points.
Right. Whereas in the last 2 weeks, Lamar Jackson has gotten you 30 average in 2 weeks.
What has Stafford done?
And not for anything, Lamar Jackson has not thrown a touchdown in 2 weeks and is still giving you 30.
Stafford's averaged 30 points over the last 2 weeks.
There you go.
All right. Stafford's it.
Stafford it is. I still like Kirk Cousins, but Stafford it is.
Running backs.
RBs.
How are we going to differentiate from your personal lineup there?
It don't matter because my personal lineup will probably shift between now and Sunday. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mentioned
Nick Chubb's a must play.
You really feel that? It's he's the one that I'm least confident in.
I feel Josh Jones is a must play. I also feel I can't afford it, but
Where's Denver's defense rank?
I think Josh Jacobs is a must-play. I think...
I feel like Aaron Jones could score you 40 points again. That's, that's...
How is LA's defense against pass-catching running backs?
Let's take a look at that. They have allowed only 2 touchdowns from pass-catching running backs, but the most is 4, which is the Lions. So it's not. They've allowed 38 receptions for 322 yards. There's nothing. I mean, they're poor, but they're not atrocious. But what makes them what makes the Chiefs atrocious is they just played Aaron Jones. So
talk to me. I like Josh Jacobs. I think he's a core.
I agree. I agree on Jacobs.
I also like the Chubb play. I think he's a smart play against Denver.
I mean, Denver gives up 4+ yards a carry.
He may potentially be on the. If we take Chubb and we pair him with Cleveland's defense to go along with our correlations we like to do of running backs and defenses.
Yeah,
he's going to get a lot of work.
Yeah.
The only thing that would change my mind about that is Kareem Hunt back? No, he's not back for another 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Next week.
Right.
Week 10, right?
Yeah.
That's where I think Nick Chubb becomes a cloudy play. Is once Kareem Hunt's back.
That's possible. I still say that Nick Chubb is definitely a must-play.
Nick Chubb is in.
And who do you got, Aaron Jones?
No. So far we have Nick Chubb, and I'm dropping in...
Nick Chubb is 13-1.
We're dropping in...
Josh Jacobs at 11-9.
Josh Jacobs at 11-9. Wide receivers.
I like Allen Robinson a lot too. That's one we haven't talked about.
Yeah,
I think he's also part of a core play this week. Going up against a 32 ranked.
Yeah, it's a tremendous matchup against Philly.
Do we run Stafford naked or do we want to pair him? We're running out of money fast, just to let you all know.
Still averaging 10 a player. 10.5.
9-2.
10.5.
9.92. Matt Stafford.
Oh, you put
Nick
Allen
Chubb.
Robinson in. Okay, I didn't know you threw Robinson in. Okay. I thought we were just talking about that. Okay, so
he can come out.
No, I got you. 9.92. 9.92.
Brought up Alshon Jeffrey before.
I like the John Brown play too.
Preston Williams, Mike Williams.
How about? I'm just looking at the list.
Himself.
I mean, the other name, and I can't help it. You just look at the matchup, and it's Danny Amendola.
Cole Beasley.
Beasley's a good play too, but he's going to give you his average this week against against Washington.
How about Jamison Crowder is right at the average we have left here. He's going up against Miami. He's probably going to be in for a ton of targets and has a good cornerback matchup.
Yeah, the matchup on the corner side isn't bad. I looked at that myself hardcore. That New England game where he did absolutely nothing. I don't know if he's fully recovered from that. The Dallas game was a big game for him, and then the targets haven't been there. And you would figure, against Jacksonville, which was a tight game for a while, he was barely used in that, which made no sense to me. And then when they did use him, the guy got 8 yards a catch. So why weren't you using him more?
Yeah, it's interesting. He had that 14 catches in week 1, and the most he's had since then is week 6 against Dallas.
Yeah, which was a whopping.
We had 6.
Half dozen.
What about
Alshon? For 16.
What about Alshon Jeffrey at 9.3?
The Alshon Jeffrey's move, it's nice too. You got.
Or Preston Williams at 9.2. If you want to get a piece of that game, go to the other side of the ball.
It's tough. There's
Well, maybe we come back to find out what we have left for a wide receiver.
All right, tight end. We all know where I'm at this point. I'm not going all in on him. I'm going to say I'm either going to pay up for Waller because he is Derek Carr's favorite target, or I'm going to pay down for Zach Ertz or TJ Hawkinson.
You, Hawkinson, I'll smack the shit out of you.
Keep going back to the well.
It's working.
Ertz I like, but man, the matchup's great.
This might be his best matchup since the Green Bay game. I mean,
how did he do?
Unless you want to talk Atlanta. He was used in the Green Bay game for 7. What I like about Zach Ertz is his average per catch. The question in this game is, does he see more than a handful of touches?
It's like going back the last 4 weeks, 2 catches, 4 catches, 5 catches. And it's like, like Darren Waller, I mean, for just a couple thousand more,
thousand more.
But he had 2 receptions last week, but it's like 7, 4, 7, 13, 6, 7. I mean,
he's averaging your 17, but you got to take the Green Bay game out of that and then re-average it out.
Well, I think you can use Waller if we end up going up and using like a Jalen Samuels as one of our flex spots.
And the Waller thing, which everyone, caught wind of him after the Minnesota game, the production hasn't been there for him. The targets were insane, week 3. And then after that, it's been half, if not less.
How about Ryan Griffin at 6,700?
Are you chasing last week then?
Just putting it out there.
I mean, not for anything, but the Indy Pitt game with Vance McDonald is a great matchup. But do you trust Vance McDonald to even be there for the game?
Okay, I put in Waller and Samuels just to see how much we'd have left. If we did that, and we still have the Browns defense, we're at 12.5 per player left, which means we could go up and get a stud wide receiver and another running back. Yeah.
So you want me to put in Waller and you said Samuel?
Mm-hmm.
And Cleveland D.
Are we talking Curtis Samuel?
No, Jalen Samuel.
Oh, Jalen. Okay.
So at wide receiver, that kid,
oh my gosh.
We could go get Kenny Golladay.
So I just looked at this. So if we get Kenny Golladay, we have exactly 10-6 left over, which is Derrick Henry.
Damn you. What did I say at the beginning of the show? I'm going to have to put my big boy pants on and just play him. Damn it.
But the thing about this lineup is I don't feel like we're punting anywhere.
No, but it's chalky as hell.
You're punting at Jalen Samuel.
No, you're not. He's going to be chalk. At 78K, everybody, if you want C-Mac, you're playing Jalen Samuel. And then you're going to go get your value at mid-tier wide receivers. That's how you're going to create your value to get your C-Mac. I'm good with this.
I am too. I look at this and I'm like, wow, that is a solid lineup.
I don't have.
I mean, it's missing the fact that you don't have a McCaffrey and you don't have a Cook, and either one of those could go off for 30 to 50 points. But I think what you make up for it is that I don't think there's anybody in here that you're really worried about giving you a 0 or a 5 or something like that.
Submit.
I don't know. Pittsburgh D might be even better.
Play. Can't afford it.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper than the Browns. And at least then you're going to get your opening bid of 10 points. Whereas with Cleveland, you're going to get 5.
Yeah, but Denver has Flacco at quarterback and Colts have Brissett. So
Cleveland.
No, there is no Flacco. Flacco is
done.
out.
Yeah, Flacco's done.
It's a rookie.
Flacco's done. And Cleveland is giving you a whopping 5 points. Cleveland's defense in 8 games.
It's Brandon Allen is the quarterback for Denver.
In 8 weeks, Cleveland has given you 44 defensive points. 44.
Cleveland has.
Cleveland. 44.
Oh, Flacco just came through. As I said to you earlier on the way here, by the end of today, Flacco will be on IR.
Done.
Okay, so Cleveland is given 44 points.
Wow, look at this. The Steelers have not scored less than 10 fantasy points since week 3.
Yup.
11, 19, 11, 14, 13.
Yeah, and look at the points they've given up. That it keeps that number low enough, and they're
well, that gives us $600. Okay, well, who can
gives you $600 more.
Yeah, bye, Derrick Henry.
Really? Okay.
Okay, so what's that? 11-2.
2-0. Tyrell Williams.
No.
I don't hate that. I mean, I don't.
Williams.
I mean, if.
No, I like the Derrick Henry play. I was just busted.
Yeah, I would get rid of Allen Robinson.
Why would you get Allen Robinson? Where are you going to go from there?
Allen Robinson.
Yeah?
Can't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
No.
Going 13-3.
Can't go anywhere else.
Can't go up to Tyler Lockett. Can't go up to. Yeah.
Odell?
I don't know. Then punt a running back and go for Marlon Mack.
No. That's asking for a 0.
I don't think so.
13-7. We could get Chris Godwin in if we punt out Nick Chubb.
Punt Chubb. And where are you going?
So you punt Chubb, you either move up Henry or Samuels out of the flex to an RB slot, and in your second flex spot, you go get Chris Godwin for 13-7.
Okay, well, let me really look at this matchup here because I don't think that Godwin has a really good cornerback matchup. I know everybody in industry is all talking about him this week.
He's going up against Jamar Taylor with a matchup rating of 32.8.
I think I'm okay with leaving the 600 on the table.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. I mean, I'm just putting out options. I mean, you're also talking variance in points of like 2. And Nick Chubb could rip one off for 90 yards and a touchdown and another touchdown and another touchdown. And this becomes a moot point against. I don't see. What's the team total for Tampa Bay? Over under 52.5. The Tampa Bay team total was 24 versus Seattle's team total of 28.5. Cleveland's team total is 21.25. This is Denver 17.75. There is no line on the KC game yet because it has not been determined if Mahomes is playing or not.
Yeah.
I mean, more opportunity for Godwin because of the higher over-under? I don't know. But we're also splitting hairs on, Tampa Bay's team total is 24. And Cleveland's team total is 22.5. Sorry, 21.25. Or a variance of 3 points. I'm good with it.
I am too. I every week I've been putting I haven't hit it yet, but there's a tournament that's a $50 tournament. And I either play my lineup or our lineup here. And I think I'm going to play our lineup in this one. It's I think there's only 175 in that tournament, so I feel like there's a realistic opportunity to win it.
I'm looking for it right now. 25, 50. The NFL Big 13.7 50-50? No.
No, it's not a 50-50.
Featured?
It's it's the $8,750 single entry hot route.
Just sort by 50 there, bro.
So first place is 1,750.
Make your sorts.
Interesting. Okay. 39 out of 175 entered. Go get it, Dan.
I will.
If you use our lineup, we expect the VIG. All right, Webby. Break down the lines for the week. Let's get out of here.
All right, let me bring that up. I thought I had that open. All right, we'll give you what I like this week. Hello, open. Thank you. Oh, I got to log in my sports book. Hold on a moment. This week, confirm location, download plugin. What are you talking about? Give me my phone. It makes it a lot easier. This week, there are quite a few games that are appetizing on the schedule. There are some matchups that be crazy not to put some money on. Starting off, come on, Jimmy. Thank you. Oh, now it's location confirmed in both places. Thanks very much. All right. NFL. You've got, like I said, quite a few games this week that are interesting. Kansas City Chiefs, Minnesota Vikings game. There is no over and under in that game yet, like you said, because the undetermined unavailability of one Patrick Mahomes leaves that game in the open. Right now, it's at 2.5 points. Taking Kansas City right now, as of Friday, is a positive move. Kansas City's at home, which they're not very good at, but still at plus 114. You'd be worth it to put a 20 spot on that game and take the money line. Leave the points alone because we don't know what's going to happen once Mahomes is or is not eligible. That line could definitely shift drastically. Bills all day long over the Washington Redskins. There's actually no total points and no money line on that game either. So if you're going to bet it, the only thing you're getting is the point spread right now. And I'm not sure why. There is no indication that I can see as to why there isn't lines on that game yet. There isn't an injury that substantiates not having a line. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but
weather
doesn't affect your overs and unders. They put that out there anyway. So like I said, it's very strange. The Bills are favored by 10.5. They're given 10.5 points. I would probably jump on that and take it. The money on that line is straight up minus 111, 110 rather. Eagles-Bears game, I'm staying away from it. I don't like it. I don't like the over and under. I don't like the point spread on it. It's only 4. If you can tease it to 7 and take a touchdown somewhere, then that's probably win-a-win a chicken dinner all day long.
Where?
That's just it. That's the problem. Bears look horrible. Still have what? The 3rd-ranked defense in the league? 4th? They just... Trubisky... Hello. Deer in the headlights. He's Eli Manning all of a sudden this year. One week he looks great. The next week he looks like crap. Bears plus 175 could be worth it to just hedge your bet and throw some money on the Bears. Colts Steelers, staying away from the game. It's questionable with Connor's out. I mean, you heard us talk Jalen Samuels in a flex or running back position. I'm not sold on that game. We also talked about the Juju Smith crisis. We've got other wide receivers who are eating into his time. I'm not so sure I trust that game. Smart bet, probably give the 1.5 points and take the Colts. But again, it's 1.5 points. I don't like it. Lock, bet, take it all day long, lay the money, lay big. I'm taking at plus 155 Miami to get their first win at home against the pitiful Jets. Over and under in that game is only 3.5. If you can tease that, maybe 4.5, tease it to a point. I think that could be a huge difference in that game. That's where I'm laying most of my money this week. Staying away from the Carolina Titans game. It's a 3.5 point game. Over and under is only 41.5. Don't like it. I don't think the game script. Who knows what you're going to get with Carolina? Every week it's a crapshoot with that team. Not feeling it. Detroit Lions over the Raiders. I'll take the 2.5 points. Lions are actually getting 2.5. I'll take it. I'm going to run with that. Green Bay Packers Chargers. Not betting that game. Staying away from it. Take the Broncos over the Browns. Baker Mayfield's a disaster.
You're really going to take a rookie quarterback over Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield's a disaster. Have you watched any of the last two games?
Yeah, but they have Nick Chubb.
That's great. He's going to run for 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that's going to be the only thing they score. Baker has thrown more balls into the stands than he has to receivers all season long. And most of those passes into the stands was out of frustration. He's horrible. He's what did our producer call him? Johnny Manziel? Part deux? Yeah. It's a horrible game. Patriots over the Ravens, Cowboys over the Giants. My parlay this week, straight up, hands down, I'm taking Kansas City over the Vikings. I know it's a risky play. Kansas City, Bills, Miami. That's what, 4? Where are my other 2 here? Dallas and the Patriots. There's your 16 parlay for the week. Again, even though we haven't cashed on one, 7 out of 8 weeks. Yes, 7 out of 8 missed by 1. And if you're a DraftKings bettor and you got your parlay insurance, you haven't lost money betting that yet. DraftKings gives you parlay insurance. Miss 1 leg of your parlays, and they give you your money back. So far, missed by 1 every week. 7 out of 8.
All right.
How much does that pay if it hits?
I think it's plus 695 right now. So depending on what you lay on it, 100 gets you 695. Again, I've missed it by 1 game, 7 out of 8 weeks. Sucks, but.
All right, gentlemen, it is time to wrap this up. But before we go, I need to lay things out from last week. So our conviction plays last week. It was very, very close between the two of you. I don't believe I was anywhere remotely close to your realm of scoring.
What did we score? I didn't keep track this week.
I did. Of course I did. Come on.
Yeah. What did we score?
So
did I beat Dan?
Coming in third place.
Wren
is me.
Yeah.
Scoring a
54
whopping.
Worse?
No, better.
Oh, okay. 62.
Scoring a whopping 74.02 points.
Better than last.
Hey, that's better than the 45 I got a week prior. So.
Yeah.
Coming in
Who'd
second
you have?
place.
Who'd you have?
I had Ryan Tannehill, who got me 19.42.
Okay,
Leonard Fournette, who got me 20.6.
Okay.
DeAndre Hopkins, 24.9.
Okay.
Darren Waller, 9.1.
Yeah. Okay.
Coming in second place with a score of 106.48.
Dan McClellan.
Mr. Webboy.
Oh,
No!
I have.
Deshaun Watson at 27 3/4.
Yeah.
Latavius Murray at 39.7. Michael Thomas at 30.3.
Uh-huh.
Hunter Helms Henry
Hurt 9.
at 8.7.
Yeah, okay. I was
Mr.
wondering.
McClellan,
Yeah.
the winner of week 8.
Yeah.
And I didn't cash on anything because I didn't have all my conviction plays in a lineup.
Russell Wilson, 32.18. Saquon Barkley, 28.3. Kenny Golladay, 32.3.
Big day.
Travis Kelce,
Yeah.
16.3.
He should have a bigger day this week, too.
All right, so this week we're going conviction plays. I'm going to start it because I've yet to start it yet. At quarterback, I'm going Matt Stafford. Webboy, you are up next.
Lamar Jackson.
Dan.
Aaron Rodgers.
All right. Running back, I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey.
Well, it's a no-brainer.
Webby, you're up. You going to go with your Dalvin Cook?
Is he a running back?
Yes, Dalvin Cook is a
I
running
was
back.
joking. Yeah, all right.
Or are you going to go your Nick Chubb? You're going to have a chubby.
I'll take the Nick Chubb.
You're
I'll
gonna
do
have a
that.
chubby?
I'll give Dalvin Cook. That's it. I'll do it. Yeah.
Thank you for the gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you going Dalvin Cook?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, top 3 this week, period. I mean, unless you want to talk the Pittsburgh game, but.
All right, wide receiver. I'm going to go Kenny Golladay. Webby?
Chris Godwin. It's a tough matchup, but I still like it.
Dan?
I feel like this is a wimpy play. I'm going to go with Allen Robinson. I know there's going to be points there. That's why.
It's not a bad move. I mean,
Tight end, I'm going to go Darren
Waller.
for the 3rd week in a row. Webby?
I'm going to go TK. Meet Travis Kelce. Minnesota, Kansas City matchup.
And Dan.
I'll take Zach Ertz.
All right, there we have it. Good luck, gentlemen. All right. This has been DFS Fantasy Foreplay week number 9. Good luck, everyone. Wow, we went long today.
Hour
Cool.
30.
All right. Good luck out there. Any questions, reach out to us on Twitter, DFS Foreplay, Facebook, DFS Foreplay. Anywhere else you want to find us, DFS Foreplay. All right. Have a great week 9. Good luck. Win money. We will see you next week.